Yeah, so let's start off by talking about what Fox said after the game. So what he said after the game, I'm just gonna go through everything he really said, and there might be a few things that I actually want to talk about. I haven't actually read anything about what he talked about, so I don't have a clue. I've heard like one or two things that he said. So I heard him say something about the team and he should have started. He wanted to start Nonto and Gruev or something. So I'll get to that and we'll have a conversation when we get to that. But let's start off with the first thing he did. So Farquhar asked some questions after the, of course, the 2-2 draw. He faced some questions, and Daniel Fox said, before the game, I would never take a draw, even though we do not have a good record here, which true, we don't have a good record in London at all. I don't even know why I'm wearing these. I don't even know why I'm wearing these. We don't have a good record at all in London. Like, I think it's like one win in the last 10 in London, so yeah, that record's not good at all. He said, I am told, yeah, yeah, the record is bad in London, terrible. In this period of the season, third game in 6 days, 2-0 down. It's a good point. QPR deserved the lead. Yeah, QPR, in my opinion, I think we started strong. That's the thing. I was annoyed because I think we started very well, and then they kind of built into the game, and then we made that mistake. Well, Aronson made that mistake. They got that first goal, and then the game kind of switched from that goal, and they started to be more in control in the first half, in my opinion, with a better team after that. We were a bit shaky at the back, in my opinion, especially with Strauch in the game. But yeah, then they basically turned it around once they scored, in my opinion, and they like dominated, basically not dominated, but they were probably the better team after that. And then of course they got their second. So yeah, well, Fox said it is a good point. You know, it's a good point. You're in your third game in 6 days. You're 2-0 down, and guess what? You make a comeback and get a good 2 points. Get a good draw, and get the point, which I think is it could be a big point at the end of the season. Who knows? Daniel Fark then said defensively sharpness was not there, which I agree. As I've already said, defensively we weren't there. I mean, how many times I don't know how many free headers we left them. Like, how many times did we leave a player for QPR just open where they could just have a shot, they could have a header and all that, and that did happen throughout the game where I'm just like, who's marking him? Who is marking him? Someone needs to mark him. We showed resilience to fight back into the game, which, yeah, we did. We showed resilience really to fight back into the game and get that goal. It was good. After 20 minutes, we reacted with a good goal from Junior Firpo. Good goal from Junior Firpo. Yeah, it was a good goal. It was a nice work, and a lovely getting his foot onto it to put in the back of the net. We are so lucky again that Bogle did not touch that, because if Bogle touches that, it's called offside, and guess what? The comeback probably does not happen. We actually probably lose the game if that goal doesn't happen. He then said completely on it in the second half, which we were. We were we improved a lot in that second half compared to the first. QPR, a really good side. Side at home, and a good point on the road. Yeah, I think it was a good point on the road. I mean, with our record in London, and not even that, just our record against QPR in general as well, and all of that. So yeah, and especially last season as well. Daniel Faulkner said, I'm angry with myself because until the early hours, I was thinking about bringing Gruev in, starting Gruev. You know, we all know Fark likes starting Gruev away, and as the game went on, I know it's in hindsight, Gruev was probably maybe a better option to start than Rothwell. Or, I've heard some other people say this, maybe Tanaka's the one that gets brought out, because I think Rothwell, there's a case you could make that recently Rothwell's outperforming Tanaka and has actually jumped ahead of him, and there's a case maybe you start Gruev and Rothwell for a game. There's a question for that. You might be able to say that. Yeah, he wanted about bringing Gruev, wanted to take momentum of Wednesday, green light from medical and all players being ready. Ilya gives us defensive awareness. Yeah, I agree with that. He gives us very good defensive awareness when he does play, which is why Fark plays him away from home a lot, because he's defensively very solid as a player, very solid defensive player. And that's why I don't like the people that like compare Rothwell and Gruev. They're two completely different players. Gruev is more of a defensive midfielder, while Rothwell is more of an attacking midfielder. So you're going to see more people will say, oh, Rothwell's better because they watch football for the attack and stuff. But personally, I do think Gruev's a better footballer. I just like it. I think his defensive work's very good. But that's just what I like in the game. Sometimes I like a good defensive player, and I think he's very good in defense as a DM, which is good. Which is something you need. You know, it's good to have both. You know, you can switch it up in games, and like, you know, bring Gruev off the bench if there's a tight game and there's one goal in it as well. But yeah, he gives us awareness, but I was too greedy and wanted to dominate the game. So Fark basically said he wanted to bring in Grub for this game, but then he's like, no, I'm going to play Rothwell because I want to win this game and just dominate the whole game and win it like 2-3-4-0 probably, which didn't end up happening, of course. And yeah, I think Gruev was probably the option. I mean, it's easy to say in hindsight. I mean, I said before the game I would like to see Gruev starting, but yeah, that didn't happen. Daniel Fark also then said, I was convinced Willie would make this impact when coming on, because he made a big impact coming on in the second half. Nonto was very good in that second half. Still don't want to see him in the 10 personally, but I think he had an impact when he came on. Of course, was part of the reason, a major part of the reason why we did score the goal. If I brought Ilya in, I would have opted for Willie from the start. But because I went with our two our two ballers in the pivot, we cannot afford to lose the running of Brendan in the 10. So that's why he started Aronson. So basically, if he started Gruev, he would have started Nonto. Basically, it was either Nonto and Gruev start, or you start Rothwell and Aronson. That's what it sounds like. Fuck is saying that. That's for me what it sounds like he's saying right there. Yeah, I mean, I still like Brendan Aronson. I think he's getting a lot of stick. But I know he had a poor performance in that game. And he's not really been amazing in 2025, but I mean, he's needed a rest. He's needed a rest. And maybe after the international break, he'll be better. Maybe after the international break, he'll be back to his best, hopefully. Hopefully that happens. Daniel Faulkner said, Nonto has not had too many chances at 10. He hasn't played much in the 10, of course. When he has played in the 10, I don't think he's been great. But the feeling the feeling is he is learning how to create options in the center, not with his pressing load, but decisive pass for the equalizer. Thank God he delivered. Yeah, that ball was a lovely pass to actually get that goal and to put us back in the game 2-2 level to score. Very good ball. And that's what he's good at. He's good at that, but he does annoy me because he does hog the ball a lot and doesn't pass the ball, and he's kind of selfish at times. Where we're gonna see if he does play in the 10 and start starting in the 10, people are gonna get annoyed quickly because he's gonna start doing that in the 10 role. He's gonna start being that kind of player that does that, which will annoy. I think everyone's gonna start getting annoyed because I just don't see him as a player that doesn't hold the ball too long. Sometimes he does. He holds the ball too long at times, but yeah, I think he had a good performance. As I said, still wouldn't opt for him in the 10 over Aronson for me. But if he does start, I won't be like annoyed and angry at it. But yeah, also Daniel Fark then said, Mano is always unhappy when he's not playing all 97 minutes, but he started all 3 games in 6 days because when he went off the pitch, he was angry. Solomon, he's important for us, creating a lot of hope for one lucky punch from Ramazani. So yeah, talking about how he brought Solomon off and brought Ramazani on, which I'm fine with the substitution. I would have probably put Dan James off and left Solomon on and played Ramazani on the right, in my opinion, because I think Dan James just needed maybe a rest because he looked more tired than Solomon does, basically. So yeah, I probably would have done Ramazani or James instead of Solomon, but hey, it's fine. Because Ramazani can produce magic, little moments from a heart when he tried that late header. Yeah, we did have a header late on, didn't we? Forgot all about that. Yeah, but yeah, I'm fine with Ramazani coming on because I think he's a very good player. Ramazani and Solomon for me are like very similar players in the way of they're very good, and they have just that they can turn that one. They can have that one chance and just a bit of magic and bang, we score. That's what. Daniel Falk then said 2 or 3 prayers, but I think that's supposed to say players. Yeah, players. I think that's supposed to say players. Hope they come back with good good memories after clearing heads. Allows us to bring some players closer to the team with Bamford, Voba, and Ethan Ampadu after their injuries. Beneficial to recharge mental pressure and load is there. They're not robots, of course. But yeah, basically saying that Max Boba, Ethan Ampadu, and Patrick Bamford, he hopes they're all back and hope they can all make an impact for the end of the season, which, yeah, I hope they all can do that. I hope they can all make an impact towards the end of the season. I mean, it'll be very good if they all can make that kind of impact, you know what I mean? It's like, it'll be good if they can all make that impact that we pretty much need, in my opinion, for the end of the season. maybe they could be, they could have that moment like Bamford could score that one goal that wins us one of those games. Ethan Ampadu, in my opinion, should start when he comes back because I think he's our best midfielder. And even Max Vober coming off the bench at like even left back, like, and just running forward. Like I would back Vober coming on off the bench at left back and having a moment maybe this season that could help us. So yeah, that's everything Fark said in his post match. Yeah, post match after the match. So yeah, a couple of things, of course, with the whole he wanted to start Nonto and Gruev, and he wasn't quite sure if he should start both of those or Aronson and Rothwell. Looks like he made the mistake by starting Aronson and Rothwell instead of Nonto and Gruev. But he changed it at halftime, and guess what? We got a point out at the end of it. He made the mistake, but at least he didn't wait until the 70th minute to bring Nonto on. He didn't wait till the 70th minute to bring him on. He made that change as quick as possible, bang, and it really much helped. It pretty much basically helped us all the way to win the game. So yeah, very good by Fark to actually make the sub there. And yeah, performance-wise, I think we were bad in the first. Of course, I've already said this. We started very strong, and then we were a bit, and then we got that goal back, and then it kind of felt like I didn't think we were going to score. Like when it went 2-0, I thought it was going to be another one of those, like last season, 3 or 4, to be honest. And then, third post scores, second half we score early. Probably should have won the game from there because we had so much time to score another goal after we did get the equaliser, and probably think should have won the game, but we weren't able to, and it's fine. Like it's fine that we weren't able to win the game because I think we played very well to get where we were, get back in it. If you guys like the video, thanks for watching the video.